straight into the preview. We're playing Manchester United this weekend, a team that we have a great record against. And, you know, cast your mind back a good few number of years now, where we just used to give this as a given, like we would just lose the game against Manchester United. We used to get so unlucky against them, and now we just seem to have our number, their number. Like, seriously, 5 wins in a row against Manchester United. Like, what is the world coming to? It's quite unbelievable, the fall in Manchester United and maybe the growth in Tottenham Hotspur, which has made them onto like a bit of a level playing field, Tottenham and Manchester United. Last game, how can anyone forget that 1-0 win in Bilbao? Just Spurs beating Manchester United in the cup final, you know? It's not things that Spurs fans are used to.
Yeah, even cast your mind back to, when was it, April or March? Carragher said on the overlap, there is no chance Tottenham beat United in a cup final, European cup final. He said no chance.
He's not Mancunian, but yeah.
He said no chance. I can't do Scouse. Scouse?
There is no chance.
No chance. Yeah, but so that was the narrative going into that game. So the fact that we're sitting here 5 wins it could be 5 wins in a row if we beat them, just goes to show how the kind of script has been flipped. Man United in the Tottenham Penitentiary at the moment.
They really are, mate. They are so in the mud. We've got their number every single time. 1-0 last time, 1-0 the time before that, 4-3 the time before that, 3-0 win at Old Trafford, 2-2 before that, 2-0 to Spurs before that, 2-2 before that. The last time they beat us was in 2022, people.
Under Conte.
Which is mad. How mad is that? The last time we lost to Manchester United was 2022.
Yeah, even so, I think we've had 3 managers. So that 2-2 there, oh no, that was Ange. But the one before that, the 2 before that, so Ange was before that. Even the one before that was Mason. We were 2-0 down, and we got it back to 2-2 under Ryan Mason.
Yeah.
So we've really got a good record against them. And United, have just, for some reason or another, whenever they come up against us, they always come out second best in recent fixtures. It's we're like we gotta go walk our dog. Man United,
it's time to take them for a walk.
Exactly,
mate. And it's that time of year again, man. And not even a vicious dog or anything, just a nice, calm, tame dog in Manchester United.
Is there something psychological about it at the moment? I don't know. Or is it? Are we in their heads at the moment, or is it just one of those things?
I don't know if we're in their heads. I just think we've been the better team.
Because they've gone, lads, it's Tottenham. They've gone from that, and all of a sudden...
And yeah, lads, it is Tottenham, because Tottenham always win.
Lads, it's Man United.
Yeah.
But they are improving, you got to say.
No, yeah, you got to give Amorim credit. You got to give
5 wins in the last 7.
Yeah, you got to give Manchester United a lot of credit for the last few weeks. And I think, like, when you're analysing Man United and you're looking at that starting 11, I don't really think it should be a surprise that, you know, there's a bit of turning form, because they've got some brilliant players there. You know, you got Bruno Fernandes, new signings in Cunha, Mbeumo, Sesko's looking good. It's looking like with the Sesko and Gyökeres thing, it looks like maybe Arsenal did go for the wrong man in the end of the day, in my opinion. But you know, you got good midfield. Casemiro, I think, is doing really well this season. He seems to be like a genuine goal threat every game. Amad Diallo at wing back. You know, we had that conversation last year about, you know, playing Amad at wing back, and I think it's working a treat for them this year. So I think what they really need to work on is their defence. I think defence is probably their weakest point, but the new goalkeeper's come in and made a real difference as well.
Yeah, 100%. Lemens, he's been a safe pair of hands. He made a massive difference. I think Amad's doing very well in recent weeks at wing back. It's just giving them that little extra threat out wide. But the thing is, I think in the game at Anfield, he didn't play wing back. He played in the front three. I think in the bigger games, I don't know if you can get away with it. So I do wonder whether he'll change it, or whether he thinks, look, it's going well, I'm just going to continue with him at wing back.
It says here he did play with. It says Diallo was wing back and Mbeumo and Mount were behind Cunha.
Maybe he did. I'm pretty sure if I remember he didn't. Maybe I got it wrong. To be honest, we were watching the game, weren't we? I'm pretty sure he was.
Because Mount definitely played, and because Bruno and Casemiro were in midfield, so it wouldn't have been Mount or wing back.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe he was wing back in that game. But I think in the bigger, I know in that game, to be fair, they should have conceded a lot more goals than they did in that game, although they played well. I think in the bigger games, I don't know if you can get away with it as much, playing him a wing back, because he's just a winger, which is great. But he's just, when you ask him to do defensive work, he he can be exploited.
Yeah.
I think, and that's what we got to do. I think a doggy, if he does play, is going to be so crucial. I think he's going to be like our most important player in this game.
Yeah.
Because I think if he can exploit that space that he's been doing in recent weeks, there's going to be a ton of space potentially there if they play Ahmad and Mbeumo together. I think there's going to be a ton of space there. So I think if we stretch them, I think if we can exploit that ruthlessly, I think that could be an avenue where we can create a lot of chances down that left-hand side.
And look, as much as we can talk about Man U improving and giving them credit for, and which is fair enough and the right thing to do, like I said before about their defence, there are a team that you can get at. You know, you look at their last 2 games alone. Like they conceded 2 goals to Nottingham Forest under Sean Dyche, who, you know, Nottingham Forest can barely buy a goal all season. And you're looking at that Brighton game. You know, they go 3-0 up. And Brighton nearly got themselves back in the game. They got 2 goals, and you know they could have even got a third. And then obviously Mbeumo goes and seals it off at the end. So there are a lot of frailties at the back there for them.
Definitely, and I think even in the look, their runs done brilliant in recent weeks. But even if you look at the game, Sunderland, fair enough, they won that game comfortably. But Liverpool, I thought, Liverpool away, they really shouldn't have won that game. I know they did, and fair play from 4 winning, like even winning against run of play or whatever.
But you got to ride that luck, Sunderland. When you go to Anfield, you know what I mean?
Fair play to them. They won the game, but you know when Liverpool equalised, they deserved it. And then I think Gakpo hit. I think their man of the match was the post that game, to be honest. And then Maguire just out of nowhere gets the winner. That Brighton game, as you say, they did play well, but even at 3-0, I think 3-0 flattered them a bit, and Brighton deservedly came back in that game, and they were kind of it was a very nervy end there. And then the Forest game. You know, they didn't win that. They obviously drew, and it was quite a close game. They conceded 2 goals in 5 minutes. So they're still not a well-oiled machine. They're getting better, but they're still not kind of definitely at the level that Amram needs them to be, where I can confidently say they're going to come here and win the game. They're not playing that well where you can say, oh, they'll easily win this. Like they're not at the level yet. They're still not a consistent team. So I think there's definitely chances for us to win this game, 100%. It's just for us. We're also not quite there yet as well. We're quite inconsistent, especially at home, especially going forward. We haven't quite found the rhythm. There are signs of it against Copenhagen, but I can't say just the back of one game, oh, we're going to be free-flowing from now on.
Yeah, but the difference is like, yeah, fine, we might not be free-flowing, but what Thomas Frank has kind of installed in this team, even if we're not free-flowing, we're kind of always in the game, potentially, and we've always got the potential to take something from the game. And that's, you know, valuable in its own right, you know what I mean?
Yeah, not denying that, but it doesn't mean we're definitely going to win.
No, of course. But I think as well, like, why it's such a big game at this stage of the season. I know it's only 10 games gone, but we're both sitting 10 points, level 17 points. They're sitting in 8th, we're sitting in 6th. So I think it's so important to get the win in this game, man. I mean, a draw, you see how kind of together the league is right now. You know, a draw, we could be sitting kind of in the bottom half come going into the international break.
I think a draw, a draw probably puts us like ahead of Sunderland if they lose to Arsenal. I don't know who are Bournemouth playing this weekend. Villa away, they might not win that game. So I think a draw probably leaves us in a decent position going into the international break. I don't think it's like, I'm not saying I'll take it. If you offer me to draw now, I'm not taking it. I think we can win. But a draw is not like the worst result in the world. It is what, like, I would say, like, it's a bad result because Man United at home, you expect to beat them. But I just got a feeling we might not win this weekend because our home form, we still haven't got to grips with yet. And I know
it's got to start somewhere, though.
Yeah, hopefully it does start this weekend. I hope it starts clicking. I said, I wasn't expecting us to click on Tuesday, and we did. So
keep saying you don't expect things, and they keep happening.
And I said I expected us to put up a good fight against Chelsea, we didn't. So you never know what this Tottenham team is going to bring up, to be fair. Obviously, we did play well against Copenhagen, but again, if you're being super harsh on that, we played well, but the first 2 goals we scored were massive errors from the keeper. Are United going to do that? So I think...
Yeah, but also, they were massive errors from the keeper, but we also created other chances in our own right where we really should have scored.
Yeah, but we didn't.
Yeah, I know we didn't, but we should have, and a better finishing on the day, which, Muani, the more minutes he gets, the more sharp he's going to get, and, sooner rather than later, he's going to be putting those in the back of the net.
I agree, but I don't know if it's going to be this weekend. That's the thing.
It's got to be. It's going to happen, man. We're going to win this game. I shouldn't say that really, because every time I get overconfident, we never win as well. So
we're playing 12:30. So if we win, we go into second place.
Yeah.
Which is mad to think about.
Second place going in, it's always great. 12:30.
It's not going into international breaks. Second place going into 3 p.m.
12:30. 12:30s are either like the best fixture of the weekend or the worst fixture of the week. Because if you lose that fixture, you're just thinking,
everyone's
oh
going
my
above you,
god, everyone. But if you win, you could just sit back, watch the rest of the football, knowing you've done your business, and just watch all the other results come in.
If we do lose. So that means United would go above us, so we would go to 7th, going to 3 p.m s, and we could end the weekend with who could go above us? Villa. Who are Brighton playing? Brighton. So only one of Brighton or Palace. And Chelsea.
There's a lot of matchups this week in the Premier League which are very tight together.
We can drop 4 places with a loss. So we can end the weekend in 10th if we lose.
Right. Is it a worry for you at all that Manchester United could be coming into this with a bit of like extra incentive because of the Europa League final, because of just the current record between Spurs and Man United? They just want to get that monkey off their back.
Definitely. And they're coming into it in pretty good form. So definitely that worries me. Sometimes these things have a way of evening themselves out. When you go through these like long records, I mean, how many times have we had... We've had so many records against us, didn't win for how many years at Old Trafford, remember, from 89 till 2012. Chelsea, we had a very long record against. Arsenal, we had a very long record against not winning. When do we ever have records going on that long? It only lasts probably this amount of time. So it's kind of like laws of probability with Tottenham when they're going to lose one of these games. Yeah,
but I mean, like these kind of records that we have against us, we might win one and then we go another 10, 15 years without winning. It's like we've won once ever at the Emirates. Like we've won...
And Stamford Bridge.
We've won once or twice ever at Stamford Bridge in the whole Premier League era.
Once.
Like that's crazy.
That was it, Dele Alli.
That's crazy. You know what I mean? Like maybe we won in the early years. I don't know, but...
maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I think like Gary Lineker didn't he score when we last won at the Stamford Bridge?
Wasn't it?
Maybe you're right. So one win ever at Stamford Bridge in the whole Premier League era.
Mad.
Like, there's just no words to say about that. Like, it's just nuts. So
we don't have yet that aura where we can just I don't think United are going to come into this game worried because of their record against us. I just don't think
maybe not worried, but I think they come with a bit of a point to prove.
Yeah, the opposite, in fact. Yeah, that's the thing. Especially after the Europa League final, like we obviously got that Champions League spot, and I definitely think they want a bit of revenge for that. Definitely think they want a bit of revenge. But
I think if we're on our game and if we can build on that performance like we had against Copenhagen, and if the players that we've got that we know that perform against, like the Mickey van der Vens and the Brennan Johnsons of this world, if they really step up for us like they usually do against Manchester United, even Bentancur usually has a really strong game against Man United, like we should win. I think we're the better team. I genuinely believe that.
Yeah, I think that front three does worry me. I actually think the midfield, that could be an area we could... I think the midfield, the area behind Amad Diallo, those are two elements. And set pieces as well, because they're not great from set pieces. So those things, I really think we can get big advantages from. I think those are things tactically, we could outnumber them in the middle, 100%. The problem is we can outnumber them, but if we're saying we're going to play Bentancur and Paulinho, I do worry about whoever technically we're going to be able to pass around them with that. But I do think with Jabby dropping a bit deeper and whatever, we can outnumber them there. I think if we play with this 3-2-5 up against their 3-4-3, I really think, a doggy and Odegaard could cause a lot of havoc, because unless Mbeumo's tracking back, it's going to be Amad up against those two with Yoro, De Ligt and Shaw in a back three. So Yoro's going to have to come out a lot, which could leave a lot of space for Mwani and Javi. So I think that left-hand side, I can see us getting a lot of joy there, 100%. I'm worried I'm worried about Cunha in Mbeumo, that kind of inverted 10s, and Sesko as well. Because I think if with their wing-backs flying forward, you're going to have Bentancur, Paulinho, and you got Bruno and Casemiro there, especially Bruno joining the attack. Paulinho and Bentancur might be a bit stretched to deal with those two as well. and then obviously Sesko is going to be occupying Van de Ven and Romero. So all of a sudden you got to worry who's picking up Cunha and Mbeumo. That's a worry for me.
But I think like Cunha is an absolute pressing machine. Absolute pressing machine. He presses shit out of you, and you need good players that can play out of that press, and he'll be pressing Romero on that side. So I think Romero might be one of the best defenders for us for Cunha to come up against, because I think he will be able to play out that press that Cunha gives to him. And I think this is where we might miss a trick, not miss a trick, but we might miss Mohamed Kudus a lot in this game, because I would want to see Romero kind of spread that ball out to Kudus, who can play out of that kind of trap of Dalot and Luke Shaw out on our right-hand side. And if Brennan Johnson's there ahead of Kudus, I'm not sure if Brennan Johnson's going to be able to kind of play out of that. And I think Kudus is going to be vitally important if we do have him.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Obviously, Brennan has quite a good record against United, doesn't he? 2-2.
Yeah.
And 2-3, sorry. And I think the way he goes in from the wing could work. But he hasn't been doing that for Tottenham under Frank. I know he did it at the beginning, but like we haven't seen him.
He's looking more dangerous on the ball, which is a positive.
Yeah, which is good, but he's staying wider. He's not really. Yeah. We're not seeing him yet. We need to be getting those crosses into the back post and trying to. I think what we need is a doggy getting in behind and getting Brendan there at that back post. That's what we need. That I think is the way to exploit this United team, is getting a doggy in behind Ahmad, getting him to cut it back and getting Brendan ghosting in behind the back three and getting a tap in. I think that's going to be a big element. I am worried though how we're going to contain them, because I think defensively we haven't been good, but tactically, like if we're going man for man, who's going where? So is Brennan going to Dalot, Porro going to Cunha, with Romero going to Sesko, Van de Ven going to Mbeumo, and a doggy going to Ahmad?
I think you have to have Romero on Cunha, in my opinion.
If Romero's on Cunha, that means Porro's going over to Dalot, and maybe Johnson's going over to Shaw on the left centre back.
Yeah.
If that's, but we usually like to do 4-4-2. So I'm trying to work that out. 4-4-2 up against their 3-4-3.
So if Romero's on Cunha, then Van de Ven, it would be Van de Ven on Sesko, and Sesko's got aerial ability, and that's why you probably want Van de Ven on him as well.
The problem with that is that means Van de Ven on Sesko, a doggy's going to Mbeumo. Yeah. That means you're relying on Odegaard tracking Ahmad. That could be a problem.
Yeah, that could be a problem. But I don't think it's beyond his capabilities.
No, but I just think Ahmad would like that. I think he's probably...
Yeah, but I think that's probably like the lesser of two evils, because I really think like with the strengths that both Cunha and Sesko have, that's where you want kind of Romero and Van de Ven.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think that through. That means Bentancur and Paulini are patrolling the middle of Bruno and Casemiro. Javi going into, and Javi and Moani locking onto the other two centre backs. I'm just worried about that left hand. I'm worried it's gone from a strength, maybe that left hand side, to maybe a worry on the flip side.
Well, it's kind of a strength and a weakness all in the same time, where it's a strength kind of when we're attacking, but then when we're defending, it could be a bit of a weakness.
It's going to be a very interesting tactical battle.
Yeah. I think we're going to come out on top, people. I think we're going to come out on top. Like Sim said before, we're taking our little dog for a walk, that little Manchester United team that we beat in a cup final. Like, let's just lock into Bilbao. We were never going to lose that game, and let's hope we're never going to lose this game as well.
The other thing as well, to take into consideration, they didn't play midweek and we did. Obviously, they're playing one game a week at the moment, albeit it was Tuesday, so there's quite a few days.
There should be more than enough time to recover and go again.
Say that, Kudus hasn't recovered, has he?
Yeah, but I'm just saying as a team in general.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a worry. If it was Wednesday, it'd be a bit more of a worry. I think because it's Tuesday, you get an extra recovery day, but it is early kickoff. Hopefully, I wonder if United are going to come with some sort of certain plan. I wonder if Frank, knowing that United... See, this is the thing with Frank. How do you approach this game? Because he's obviously known, right, as being a guy who tinkers to the opposition. He comes up with the weaknesses and stuff. Now, we've been, in the last few games, been doing this thing 3-2-5. Like, we're trying to create some familiarity with the front line and stuff. So does he look at this game and go, okay, United go 3-4-3, we're going to change things up to, to adjust to them? Or does he try and continue to build that familiarity? Because I felt like against Chelsea, he kind of changed it. Maybe because it was Chelsea. He changed it up. He's like, all right, we're going to adjust to them. And it completely failed. Then he went back against Copenhagen to what he was doing before. So what does he do in this game? Does he adjust again? Or does he like, no, you know what? We're just going to keep try and build that familiarity.
I think the crux of it will be the same, but I think there are always going to be some sort of small tactical differences that you'll see on the day. Like, even if like the build-up shape and pattern and numbers are the same, I still think there's going to be, some small tactical differences where maybe against Copenhagen, certain players will go to certain men. I think it might be a bit different in kind of that aspect, maybe in the defensive shape. But I think the majority of it might be fairly similar.
Do you envisage a similar reaction to the Chelsea game if we do lose?
Depends on the manner. It all depends on the manner. If we lose this game, but you can see a team with a clear identity in the way they want to attack, and we're creating chances, and we don't have a 0.05 XG, and we're actually looking like a team that wants it and that are capable of winning, then I don't think the fans are going to have, like, obviously going to be pissed off if we lose regardless, but I don't think there will be this kind of overreaction of massive boos in the stadium. If it is very similar to that Chelsea team and we just look clueless and we look toothless, then yeah, there'll be a similar reaction. But I'm praying and I'm hoping and I'm not sure, but I'm kind of more positive that we're going to see a much better attacking display this game on the back of that Copenhagen game, that it won't be like that.
Yeah, I think so. For me, as I've always said, I look at performances at this point in a managerial tenure. It's more about performances than results, because I truly believe if the performances are getting better and you're seeing more from the team, the results will genuinely come if the team is playing well. Obviously, against Chelsea, we didn't play well, but for me, this weekend, I just want to see us being capable against a Premier League team at home to attack them and create chances and actually look like we're the better team and actually be on the front foot. That's what I'm going for. And look, if we lose, and whether it be unlucky or wherever happens, if we do end up losing, I'm not going to be angry if I see a team that, a performance that shows us we can be the better team and shows us we can open teams up and we can attack and we can look sharp and all these kind of things. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. Obviously, I want to win, but I think the performance is very crucial this weekend.
All right. Well,
because the league is so tight.
It is massively tight.
Next you win a couple games after, and you're back in second place or whatever.
The problem is that 2 of our next 3 games after that, Newcastle away and Arsenal away.
Yeah, true. If we don't win this game,
you know what I mean. So if we don't
win in a row,
exactly
4 losses in a row.
Well, we got Fulham at home in between there, but out of our next 4 games, so we've got United at home next, we've got Arsenal away after that, Fulham at home after that, and then Newcastle away after that in the Premier League. So this is a crazy run of fixtures that we've got now. So I think a result is actually really important in this game.
I agree. I think in terms of like a battle for 5th place, getting a win is going to be really important, I think. Which obviously I want, but it's, for me, if you're looking at the long term, it's all about the performance.
All right, well, all will be revealed tomorrow at 12:30, and me and Brian on the watch-along will be starting at around 12:15 tomorrow. Sim will be at the game, and I've been seeing a few comments in there. People don't want you to go to the game.
No?
They say every time you go, we lose.
I was at the City of Manchester. We won that one.
Yeah, it's true. You are. Maybe it's just.
I've only been to one home game and we lost. I've literally been to one game this season at home.
Yeah, but
can't blame me for our bad home.
Everyone's blaming you.
What? You've been to all the other ones. Your ratio's a lot worse. Well, I guess mine's 100%. So.
I was at Copenhagen, baby.
You're at Copenhagen, yeah, fair enough.
But we are gonna do one